Sitting here on a beautiful summer evening, watching a beautiful sunset, enjoying my daughter, Mrs. Griffin, and my beautiful Fahir. Hey, Fahir. And I just wanted to throw a question at my daughter and see if she can answer it for you. What does it mean to be unapologetic about who you are?
Personally, in my experience, I have learned anything worth having is hard. Having a right to be yourself is worth having, but it is very hard because there are some people who will turn your ambition, your drive, and your dreams into malice, into superiority, into arrogance. And I'm learning, I have not learned yet, but I am learning. It is okay to say, yes, I want more than you. Yes, I feel like where I am now is average and I am above average. But no, there is no problem with you being comfortable where you are. To some people, that says you think you're better than me. That says you're arrogant. That says, oh, I'm not doing good enough. I'm not good enough. To me, that says when I look at myself, just me, I see more.
Okay.
And what I have found so far, I'm sure there's much more to learn and much more to see, is that being successful is a very lonely process. In the circles of average people, you don't find, maybe in a circle of 10, you'll find 2 people who are like-minded, who are business-minded, who have aspirations and goals. Everybody else are just yes men. That's like me talking to you right now and saying, did you see that segment on the news last night when the house went up in flames and the cat was stuck in there? One or two things could happen. You could say, no, I didn't see it. Tell me more about what happened. Or you can say, oh, you still watch the news? Nobody watches the news.
Okay.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yes.
It's hard. Again, anything worth having is hard. But it's hard to realize that the people that you love may not go with you on your journey. And more than hard, it's scary because you're doing something you never did. You know you have to do it. You know you're supposed to do it. You feel you won't be complete unless it's done. But it's lonely knowing it's nobody along for the ride. Like driving to Georgia by yourself. How long did it take us to get there?
20 hours.
20 hours.
And I screamed the whole way.
In a car by yourself with no rest stops.
Okay.
You're going to get to Georgia.
Yes.
And when you get there, oh, will the sights be beautiful.
Yes.
But that ride is lonely. You might even nod off.
It's long, it's lonely. That's a given. But if you can say to yourself and be honest with you, it's not worth the ride, then get out the car. But if you're saying to yourself that even though it's lonely sometimes, even though I gotta cry sometimes, even though I'm misunderstood most of the time, I have to get in this car and I have to ride this thing until the wheels fall off. Not everybody's gonna understand that. But nobody can be you better than you. Nobody knows what's driving you more than you. At least no one should. So to be unapologetic, I think it means, now I know it means, is saying I have a right to be all that I can be and respect you if you don't desire anything more. Yes? Yes?
And that's why I said I'm learning and I haven't learned, because that's what I feel. What I'll say is, you know what? I'm going to be great. I am great. And I'm sorry if you feel like that's me trying to be better than you. There should be no sorry, because I haven't done anything wrong.
Absolutely.
But it's that part of me that feels bad or feels guilty that I am moving forward.
Is it that in moving forward, you're leaving people, places, and things behind that you feel bad about? Like when you prune a tree, there's certain parts of the tree that must come off in order for the tree to continue to thrive and to grow and to be beautiful. So in moving forward, does the condemnation, does the apologies come in saying, I might have to leave this person behind and I love them, so I might have to leave that behind and I love it, so I might have to come out of my comfort zone? What is it? What is it that you feel the need to apologize for?
The pity. If we're going to be honest, it's the pity. Like, when I was younger, you used to tell me, and you used to tell me to motivate me, but it has become something that applies to several areas of my life, and I say it to my children. Sometimes out of frustration, and sometimes generally teaching them, like genuinely teaching them. You used to say, Taya, somebody got to wash the toilets. That is a fact of life. There are janitors because somebody has to wash the toilets. Now, when you love somebody, like really love somebody, everything that you want and know is great, you want for that person.
Absolutely.
But then it comes that point where you realize, damn, they got to wash the toilet. And it's like, I can't stop shitting. I cannot, because that's a humanly body function.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
I don't apologize that had to happen, but I feel bad. You got to clean it up.
Understand. That's a yes.
And it's like, I still respect if that's where you want to be in life. But from my view, bull, that's far down.
It's like the poem, when you were little and you were going through some changes, and the only way that I could get through it was to, besides playing it out and crying out, was to write it out. And I dubbed this poem called Up the Down Escalator. And I said, so much in life, we spend our time trying to go up a down escalator, and then we're halfway through living before we realize we're supposed to go down the down escalator and up the up escalator.
It's growing pains, my love.
Growing pains.
Growing pains. It's like trying to give you a good for instance that express exactly where we're going.
Childbirth. No.
Pretty Woman. Let's talk Pretty Woman. I love that movie. I love Kit Saluka because Kit Saluka was raw.
Yeah.
She knew what she needed to do to get where she was going.
Yes.
I love Vivian because though she came from meager beginnings and not such a wonderful background, she knew who she was and where she was going.
Yes.
Both women possessed the same quality, right?
Yes.
Both of them were going somewhere, correct?
Yes.
But their destinations were not identical.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, though they were friends, there was also a little friction there because Kitsaluka was happy with what she did and where she was going, but didn't understand why Vivian couldn't stay with her.
And That was a good example, because there was a scene in a movie when Vivian said to Richard Gere, "I want more,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's the life that we must live unapologetically. There are some people who will clean the toilet, and then there are some people who own the restaurant that the toilet is in.
Mm-hmm.
So to know which one you are and be comfortable in that place, I don't have to apologize for being the janitor, and you shouldn't have to apologize for owning the restaurant. If we both understand that we both have a role to play and both is just as important as the other, I think, no, I know lots of times where the friction and the clash comes in is if I look at you and I know that just maybe I'm supposed to be doing a little bit more. And that's why I'm upset that you're stepping out on it and I'm just watching. I call it the wonk wonk. You ever, when I was a kid, my parents, your grandparents used to take us by 49th and Woodland Avenue, and there would be people there, they call them the winos. They have their bag, and daddy said they'd be chewing the rag, just shooting shit, and they just be talking. Well, when I became a mother to you, some of these same winos were still there talking the same old thing. If I had this, I'll do that. When this comes, I'll do that. And the thing is, I was a child and you was talking it. I'm a full-grown woman and you're still talking it. At what point did the action kick in? Some people will never kick in the action mode.
It's the same thing with Regent Street. When we lived on Regent Street, Bill and Kelly's is what it was called at the time. It's like a poppy store now, but it was owned by the Koreans back then. There used to be a gang of guys to stand outside their store. And I had some friends who looked like, oh, they're so cute and they got so much money and wait till I get older. And then there was me. I would never talk to a neighborhood guy. I could never do a corner boy. The moral to the story is, piggybacking off of what you said, when I was younger, they were there. And us being children talked about how we felt about that. When I became an adult, they were there. And it went to a yerp, yerp. And it's like, if you standing on the same corner you've been standing on for 10 years,
yes.
What makes you think 10 years later I see anything in you?
Yes.
We both know you're not going nowhere.
Yes.
And yes, it sounds harsh, but if that's your reality, don't be offended by it. Embrace it.
Absolutely.
And if my reality is not identical to yours, don't punish me for it. Embrace it. Or you could also choose to leave me where I'm at. Let me go where I'm going. Because I'm not going to cross your path. We already identified you ain't going nowhere.
Yes. And I want that second yes to be louder, but Papa went to sleep, so I'm going to leave it down. Let me grab this right here. I want them to see this beautiful sunset. I hope they're getting a view of that. Right here. If tomorrow comes, you will never see another sunset like that. It's one of a kind. And each of us are one of a kind. Each of us are one of a kind. And each of us should shine, should so let our own light shine. A shooting star. You ever read that book when you were in school? Remember A Shooting Star?
You ever got light bulbs from the electric company?
Yes.
Like the energy saving kind they
Yes.
send you? And if you notice, when you screw those in, they always a little bit brighter than the ones you get from the dollar store or the ones you get from Family Dollar. That's not saying the bulbs that you bought from these general stores don't work. That's not saying there's anything wrong with these bulbs. They serve the same purpose, to light up the room. It's simply saying this one is brighter.
Absolutely.
And it's not a slight, it's a fact.
Yes.
The problem, me personally, just me personally, I believe is too many people focus on wanting to be real or always saying the truth, and not enough people examine what it is to receive the truth, what it is to be real. We get so caught up in the term, we don't examine what it really is.
Your own personal truth.
It's the same as we were saying about the whole Black Lives Matter movement. That is a powerful, essential movement
Yes.
in today's society for our people.
Yes, yes.
But not enough people examine what they're about and what they represent as they do hitch a caboose to their wagon.
Yes, yes, yes. Like to thank you for joining in on this wow moment and another conversation. Our time is up and the sun is setting. And stay tuned for our next conversation.